Hi, today I'm going to talk to you about Beethoven and why he is the greatest composer of all time. He was really the first one to put strong and intense passions and emotions into his music. So today we're going to look at a few different selections of his music and go through the different moods of Beethoven, from the bipolarness of the ocean to raging oblivion. For this first movement, I want you to think of the ocean. Now, it's a little bit bipolar. Sometimes the water is perfectly still and it's calm and almost angelic. Other times, you have the relentless rolling of the waves that seem to be driving towards something, but you never really know what they're being driven toward. Other times, you have the mighty tempest with the waves crashing, the wind howling, and the sky black and yeesh. So in this short passage, Beethoven is somehow able to embody all of these different moods and emotions into his music. So prepare yourself for this voyage because it's about to get a little interesting. Okay, so we've seen a bunch of different moods all wrapped up into one piece of music in The Tempest. For this next one, why don't we focus on just one mood, and that can be summed up by one word: total despair. Okay, that's two words. This movement is heartbreaking and it's just so intense. You'll probably recognize it. And there are moments, very brief moments, when you think that everything will be okay and you sense this glimmer of hope and you're like, oh, it's finally going to end. But no, it never does. It's just always sad. So brace yourself because this is a very intense movement. So we've seen the moodiness of the ocean and total despair. For this next movement, I want you to think of a dance, kind of Jane Austen style, with the powdered wigs and the fancy dresses. Powdered wigs weren't Jane Austen. Anyway, I want you to think of that style of a dance with the string quartet playing as everyone does their group dancing. This movement is very playful and light and just fun. So, without further ado, enjoy the dance. So we've seen the moodiness of the ocean and despair and a dance. For this last one, I want you to think of Alice in Wonderland. At first, you're falling down the rabbit hole. You're spinning out of control, no idea what's going on, just in total oblivion. And then you land and you dust your pants off and you're like, whew, I made it. You look over and there are these eyes glowing, staring right at you. And you're like, okay, let's tiptoe away from the creepy eyes that are staring at me. And then the eyes get higher and higher until this huge monster begins to take form. And it starts chasing you. And so you run, and you're running for your life. And you see a doorway. You're like, if I can just make it through the doorway, I'll be okay. So you run even faster, of course. And you're running, and then you dive. And you don't think you're going to make it. But then you do, and you slam the door in the monster's face. And you're safe. This movement gets a little bit intense, and it's a bit of a wild ride. So brace yourself and prepare for this craziness that is Beethoven. So there you have a good variety of the different moods that Beethoven encompasses in his music and a better understanding of why he is the best. So I leave you with this quote by none other than Mr. Beethoven himself. Music is the only incorporeal entrance into the higher world of knowledge which comprehends mankind, but which mankind does not understand.